If your foundation feels so heavy that you want to wash it off immediately, or if your makeup looks completely fine in the mirror from a distance and terrible in daylight up close, when makeup looks textured, the reason is usually one of these: too much product, wrong layering, too much powder, or placing coverage where you actually don't need it. Daylight shows everything, so heavy makeup becomes much more obvious. Let's begin. Mistake 1. Wrong preparation for your skin type. I can't stick to one skincare routine for the whole year, or even for the whole month. You need to do it logically. For example, if I have flakes on my nose, patchy foundation from dead skin, extra dryness, or some fine lines around the eyes that weren't that visible before, I adjust my prep accordingly. First, forget micellar water. Use an oil balm instead. It melts the makeup at the end of the day without rubbing the delicate skin around the eyes. Only then wash it off with the water. The second step, after removing the makeup, is cleansing the skin. When I want to fix flakes specifically, I use an enzyme powder. Just pour a little into your hands, add a bit of water, create a soft white foam, and gently massage it in circle motions around the nose area, pores, and any extra dry spots. Now you have the perfect canvas for skincare. The skin is completely clean, so your serum, toner, and moisturizer absorb quickly and won't get stuck on the layer of dead skin. One of the biggest mistakes is over-prepping the skin. If you use too many layers of skincare, the makeup starts sliding, separating, or gathering around pores. The skin should feel moisturized, not slippery. And glow skin prep is beautiful until your foundation starts floating on top of it, trust me. Applying too much product isn't good for the skin, and it's also just wasting money. So this quantity is enough for the whole face and neck, but not one full drop of serum on each cheek. The same goes for SPF and moisturizer. I use gel creams before makeup to keep it simple and allow everything to absorb quickly. Moisturizer hydrates the skin, while sunscreen acts as a protective shield. So sunscreen should always form the final top layer. Mistake 3. Too much foundation. Everyone knows we need to shake the foundation first to even out the formula. And the mistake is simply using too much foundation. Most of the time, people apply full face coverage when they only need it on the center of the face. One extra mistake is using dirty brushes from the previous makeup day. Huge no. The brush is already overloaded and it can't give you the same result you expected. It's overloaded, so it can't absorb extra foundation and distribute it evenly. Also, swirling and chaotic blending is the best way to enhance flakes, facial hair, texture, and pores. The more product you use, the more texture you create. Coverage is not the same as a perfection. Often, more coverage gives you less beauty. If you continue fixing the mess, the foundation starts to set, and you end up with uneven cracking. My favorite part, thin layer method. The thin layer method is the most effective way to get flawless results. Apply foundation to the back of your hand first, and one pump is more than enough for the whole face. Of course, we all have different proportions, but we are not covering the whole face anyway, only where it's needed: the center of the face, redness, and around the nose. Warm it up with the fingers on the back of your hand. The warmth gives you the most gorgeous coverage because the foundation melts into the skincare layer like a dream, like a butter. And just blend outward. Look, I'm starting from the center of the face, where most people actually need coverage. I'm using a very small amount and stretching it outward in the thin veil. Notice that I'm not trying to mask the whole face, I'm just evening out the skin. And this one change already makes the skin look more expansive and more believable. Mistake 4. Rubbing instead of pressing. As I mentioned earlier, if you rub too aggressively, you move the product around and disturb the texture underneath. Pressing or lightly bouncing the product into the skin usually gives a much smoother result. You stick the makeup to the skin, to your facial hair, baby hairs, and all the invisible flakes. So you want the makeup to melt into the skin, not sit on top of it. Just keep this in mind. Mistake 5. Concealer application. Another area where texture appears very quickly is concealer. If you apply too much product directly from the applicator without removing the extra from the tip and then put it straight under the eyes, it immediately starts looking dry and heavy. This is especially true if you are using a high coverage product with a blurring effect. You expected a flawless result, but something goes wrong, and of course we blame the product first, not the application, blending, or quantity. We've all been there, I know. So the key is use less than you think and only on the exact areas that need brightness. Remove the extra product from the applicator, apply a small dot to the inner corner, a very short line to the outer corner to leave the eye, and just a little around the nose, but only if the foundation layer just didn't already cover this area in a thin, even layer. If you apply 4 layers, it will crack anyway because of warm breath, mimicking, or creasing after emotional expressions with their friends. And the under eye area usually looks better with a less correction, not more. I also love using concealer as an eye primer. I found this texture works really well for my oily, hooded eyes. On the wrong side of my face, there are 4 huge layers of everything. Such a mess. I overdid it intentionally so the camera could catch all the textured details and mistakes visually. We often try to use one brush for everything, but in this case, I prefer a small concealer brush to be precise. When I finish blending, I go over with my fingertips. You won't leave fingertips because you did everything right. This is a double check step. You can control how much concealer you applied and gently remove any excess onto your finger. Mistake 6. Powder technique. Powder is one of the biggest texture amplifiers if you overuse it. Instead of setting the whole face heavily, like I'm showing you here, turn the powder and start tapping it to pick up more and more. Wait, there is more than enough to do it only twice, and you'll have exactly the right amount of powder on the puff for one area. Sometimes when my skin is very dry, but I still need to set my makeup, I prefer applying it with a brush. It's lightweight and much less overpowering than pressing with a puff. I powder only the place that crease, move, or get too shiny. Usually around the nose, center of the forehead, and a little under the eyes. I always use a pressing motion, not sweeping from side to side. Also, notice how much foundation the powder puff absorbs. Just a friendly reminder. Wash not only your face, brushes, and sponges at the end of the day, but also any puffy things from the powder. It's unhygienic to reuse them without cleaning. If you powder everything equally, the whole face can start looking flat. For pores and texture around the nose, the key is not adding more and more product. Actually, the smoothest result often comes from removing excess first and then pressing a very small amount exactly where it's needed. Most people try to cover texture. The real trick is to stop feeding it more product. Optional step, highlighter and blush. Don't add liquid highlighter directly from the applicator, as we discussed in the concealer part. It will be very hard to blend seamlessly, especially over a powder layer. Remember, cream and liquid products melt perfectly into each other. Powder and powder dry highlighter doing the same thing. And most importantly, liquid highlighter can mix with all the layers underneath. If applied wrong, it becomes patchy, dull, and leaves visible edges. To keep the skin fresh, I like to apply highlighter to the back of my hand and warm it up. One small dot is enough to cover the whole hand. Can you imagine what happens when we apply 4 dots to the cheek? So warm it up and add dimension only where the light naturally hits, not everywhere. That's why you need to be in front of the natural light. Turn your head from side to side and find the reflection. I'm going to apply it right here. Even if you've already powdered this area, I didn't, you can still tap it perfectly with a light hand movement. That way the skin looks alive, not greasy or uneven. Don't apply highlighter to the pores area. Highlighter will enhance texture. I'm going to stop right here and remove any extra product from the apple of the cheek with a clean fingertip. Always check yourself. For me, it looks perfect and I love it. Oh, and don't blend highlighter with the same foundation brush. The shiny particles will get hidden under the beige pigment from the foundation layer. And the same goes for creamy blushes. Applying them directly to the face is not a good idea. Dabbing them in is the only right way. I also definitely recommend using a clean brush for this. Keep your foundation brush only for cases when you apply too much blushes and just need to even out the surface, calm down the color, or fix some small mistakes. The leftover foundation will help make it look natural. Use the same shade of lipstick as your blush for harmonious look. I'll use the gorgeous combo from Armani. This lip gloss is super comfortable, not sticky, and I love it. And the last mistake is don't leave foundation stuck between your eyebrow hairs. It looks ashy, and this is exactly why your eyebrow gel can turn white. After applying, your eyebrows look like they have a white cast. Look at the huge difference. Also, let's check more closely. On the side with the correct application, of course, I can't erase my wrinkles, and that's totally fine. But I can emphasize them less. And from a distance, everything looks smooth on the wrong side. But what happens after 10 minutes? How does it look under office lights? Even in natural light, it's not great. I just want to wash it off. It's uncomfortable. I can feel the foundation sitting on top. On the other side, it feels almost like my skin. Lightweight, breathable, and so beautiful. Now you can really see the difference. On one side, the skin looks heavier, more textured, and more obvious. On the correct side, the makeup still covers what we need, but the skin looks much smoother and more natural. If you want, next I can do a video specifically on how to make under eye concealer look smoother and less dry in real life. And let me know in the comments which area gives you the most trouble. Pores, dryness, under eyes, or separation around the nose. And thank you so much for watching. See you soon. Bye.